All right. So I guess now you understand what the plan was.
Absolutely. At Colts Law, we talk Indianapolis Colts football.
We're going to stick to what we know, fundamentals and technique, 1% better every day.
What's going on, Colts Nation? I'm Lawrence Owen. Here with me today is Loyalist. Appreciate everyone being here. Nano 505 right there waiting on us. Appreciate you. So, first and foremost, before I get going, I want to apologize. I am tired as heck, man. I've had a rough couple, as you know, from Monday, I had a rough week. Yesterday, I just covered the Express. Drove back and forth to Indy and 90-plus degree heat with no air conditioning in my truck. And then today, I'm just beat tired. So if I yawn a couple times, it's not because I'm bored. It's because I'm tired. All right? So I let you know that up front. What's going on, Buck Dancer? Appreciate you being here. Guys, as I get going, don't forget, smash that like button, man. Help me out a ton. Help with the YouTube analytics. Don't forget, subscribe if you're not subscribed and tag that notification bell. And that way you're notified next time I go live. I'll be on, let's see here, Dear Pats Nation at 9 o'clock tonight. I'm pretty sure. I haven't got the email saying, are you going to be there? But it's generally every Wednesday at 9 I join. So if you want to show up and say hi, that's cool. Today, NKeal Harry, right? Sagal Milano, appreciate you being in the chat as well. Thanks so much. NKeal Harry, what was it, yesterday or day before, something like that? Not very recent. He threw out there that he, requested a trade from the New England Patriots, former first-round pick, right? Just 2 years ago. 2 years ago, first-round pick. Been an utter disappointment for New England. Says that he just hasn't gotten the opportunity to showcase his skills, the opportunity and the targets. And as usual, whenever there's any thoughts about a player in the NFL wanting to leave their team, then Colts Nation goes up in some kind of frantic haste. Do we want him? Do we not want him? Let's go sign him. No, I don't want him. Well, we're here today. We're going to discuss that specifically, that only, and at least for the first, few minutes of this stream. And then we'll see where the stream takes us afterwards, all right? Loyalists. How's the last couple of days been for you?
Pretty good. Just muscling through some back pains and stuff, but wife's on vacation, so she's been here to help me out, so that's been nice. And then, like I said, just enjoy the great 4th of July weekend and just trying to recover a little bit and try to stay out of the heat.
Absolutely. Guys, so Loyalist is having back problems right now, and he's still trying to muscle through it. So to be here with us, that is what I call loyalty to the stream and to the fans. That there's a reason why his name is Loyalist, and he's showing it today. Thank you so much for being here. So, NKeal Harry, there are some pluses, there are some minuses to the Colts. Maybe looking into him, throwing a flyer on him. But first and foremost, before we talk about if he's good for the Colts, what has he done for the Patriots? Right? In his first 2 seasons with the Patriots. Now, to be fair, his first year was with Tom Brady, right? And Tom wasn't happy with the team. He had no passing game. Granted, Harry was a rookie, right? Didn't go to him very much. For some reason, I don't think Tom liked him worth a darn. Really didn't go to him. Last year, he had Cam Newton in the COVID season. Again, was outperformed by an undrafted free agent named Jacoby in New England. So, is Harry just not getting the targets, or is he just that bad that you don't want him? There is a stat out there that's been going around the internet now for the past, ever since he said he wanted to trade, and that was, he was like in the 99th percentile of wide receivers when it comes to separation. Dude does not get open. Whether it's with speed, whether it's route running, whether it's, whatever, he does not get open. That doesn't take away from his catching ability, his 50 50-50 catch ability, stuff like that, because that's basically what he is. He's a big-bodied wide receiver, much like a Zach Pascal or a Michael Pittman, right? But McChicken from over there on Deer Pass Nation in here, and he's like, please take him. But, no, seriously, the issue, one of the things we want to talk about is his contract. He's still on his rookie contract, right? And this will be his third season as a rookie contract. Now, this year he's going to earn about $2.75 million, right? But that's not, if he's traded, the New England Patriots eat the signing bonus, which is 1.34. So, whoever he trades to, they'll be paying 1.4 mil. Next year, he'd be 1.87 mil on whoever, team would have him. The New England will eat the 2.7 this year and the the 1.3 and the 1.3, which is a total of 2.7, because it's like 134, So about 2.7 total cap hit if he's traded. So really, it's more like you're signing a second-round pick because you're only paying for half as much. But did he play like a second-round pick his first two seasons? No. To me, in my opinion, I don't think he played like a fourth-round pick. He did have some interesting stat lines, some interesting games, but let's face it, he has not lived up to his potential. What are your thoughts on NKeal Harry up to this point? Not being traded or anything, just on the player himself.
Yeah. And I just look back at, you look at the roster that New England puts out for receivers and stuff. And I keep looking at that and I keep thinking, if he can't get in the rotation, I don't care if it's Cam Newton or Tom Brady. I mean, if he's not able to beat out undrafted free agents, if he's not able to beat out some of these later draft picks that New England had, I mean, New England's sort of in a similar spot. They don't have a lot of big name aside from their tight ends this year. But I mean, last year they didn't have the big name wide receiver and stuff. So if he's not making his name and his talent isn't shining through to take these roster spots ahead of these guys, I mean, I don't see how you can think any otherwise other than the fact that he's underperforming. Now, is it the wrong place, the wrong environment? I mean, some of the similar questions that, were quoted for Carson and his situation, I don't know. I like I said, like you said, it didn't seem like Tom and him seemed to connect 2 years ago. But, I mean, Cam took him under his wing from the way I understand it. I mean, I like to get on Deer Pass Nation and listen to their points of view on it and stuff. So, and then turn around and look at some of the film and highlights, and there's just not a whole lot of highlights. Connor said it, he's like, he just didn't see him doing anything exceptionally well. He's like, he does everything okay, but nothing, that's not what you're expecting from a first or a second round draft pick at all.
No.
What are your thoughts?
I agree. There's always got to be something incredibly exceptional about a player when you're drafted in the first or second round. Period. End of discussion. And one of the stats that jump out to me biggest about Myers, his first two seasons, his rookie season with Tom Brady, he only had 24 targets, right? So he could say, you know what, I wasn't targeted enough when Brady was quarterback. But there's a reason for that. You only caught the ball half the time. You had a 50% catch percentage. 50%. That is awful. I mean, awful. Now, year two, wide receivers should make a nice jump. And in year two, he was targeted 57 times. And he did improve his catch percentage. But still awful, 57.9%. That's 58%. Let's round up. We'll give him that 0.1%. 58% catch percentage. You know how bad that is? The undrafted free agent Jacoby Myers, who had 41 targets with Tom Brady, his rookie year had a 63.4. That's better than what Jacoby Myers' second year. Than NKeal Harry's second year. When Myers' second year happened with the guy who he was not under the wing of, right? When Cam Newton was throwing the ball and didn't really start throwing to him until the second season, you see his targets jump. Jacoby Myers had 81 targets, but he caught 73%. That is a reasonable catch percentage, not 58. And for a guy who's supposed to be the big-bodied, sure-handed person, you cannot have a 58% catch percentage. You just can't. And that is a terrible stat. And that's what scares me the most. That's what scares me the most about Jacoby. I keep wanting to say Jacoby Myers, but I like Jacoby Myers. It's NKeal Harry I don't like. And with that being said, I don't think that he's even worth paying a second round money to, that the Colts would be playing after the trade. What are your thoughts on that?
No, I agree completely. I just, like when you put that word trade in there, that just automatically excludes me. I mean, the closest I would ever want to give up any draft capital would be a seventh round. You know what I mean? Maybe a sixth rounder, because it's hopefully going to be late in the sixth round. But I start hearing people talk about San Francisco's offered up a fifth, and I'm like, okay, let them have it. I just don't see, like I said, I see a lot of similarities, not as far as the type of player, but the way, we all felt about Dorsett a few years or several years ago, you know what I mean? And then, you just seen the potential, but, and I never thought Dorsett was a first rounder, but I never thought NKeal was. I figured they were more of a second round, early third round wide receivers. And their underwhelming performance, and then the way that it's not anything that there's, at least what you're hearing, it's not, oh, I need to work at this, I need to work at that. It's, I didn't get enough of this, I didn't get enough of that. And it's just like, do you want that in your locker room? Everybody's like, well, he's young. We have young, we have big, we've got Patman, we've got Strawn, why is it everybody's so fired up to go and bring in another question mark at a position that we already have bountiful question marks? For what? Why give up anything, And like I said, I think we can all agree, even whether you like the man or not, Belichick's not a clown. He knows what he sees on the practice field. He may not have been the best drafter or best GM, but I don't think there's ever been a person that can legitimately question his abilities as a head coach. And if you can't make it on his radar in 2 years' time, in the, like I said again, the lackluster competition that he already had, those flags just scream, stay away, stay away.
Yeah, especially like what you're saying, when you're blaming other people and not saying, I could do better myself. Mm-hmm. When obviously your personal stats that has nothing to do with other people, they're not good. It's showing you need help somewhere. I'm going to get to the chat right now real quick because I got a few people in here. My apologies. Vase, what's up? Appreciate you being here. He says, I don't think we should take him. And I agree, personally. McChicken says, I think Arizona makes the most sense. Went to college there. Arizona could use more of a tight end. Use him as a tight end because he was a big body guy. And they don't really have a big. They got good wide receivers and no big. That don't make too bad a sense right there. That's not a bad idea. Hannah 7G, what's up? Appreciate you being here. Says I think he'd do well as a Falcon. Well, that's not terrible. Got a good wide receiver and a new tight end over there in Michael Pitts in Michael Pitt and Pitts. DB says I'm a Ravens fan, but I support your channel when I need to keep up with the Colts content. Much respect. How you talk football. Thank you so much. I appreciate that a lot. Pump 35 says Zach Pascal's better than Harry. Well, the film and the stats say you're right. You're right. At least I believe that. Hanif7G says that Dorsett was way better than Harry. Well, here's the thing. Dorsett's still in the NFL these years later, right? Yes, he's been flipped from team to team to team, but he's still in the NFL. He's still catching footballs. We'll see where Harry is in 4 more years' time. If he's still in the league after 6, 7 years, then we'll know, right? How well he is. Now, one thing I can say is they invested a first-round pick. And yes, McChicken, you're right. To be fair, it was a 32nd pick. They just won the Super Bowl the prior year. It was a 32nd pick. It was a glorified second-round pick, But still, even for a second-rounder, he's not lived up to that. He hasn't lived up to a third-rounder. T.Y. Hilton was a third-rounder, okay? He's nothing like T.Y. Hilton. But then again, neither was Dorsett. Dorsett was supposed to be, very similar to T.Y., and it wasn't there. But in all honesty, here's Harry's situation. Because he was a first-round pick, I don't see Belichick wanting to get rid of him without getting something back in return, right? And someone said, you said that San Francisco offered a 5th-round pick for him. If I was New England, I'd jump on that because I don't know if anyone else would give 5th round. I'd say that's about as high as where I would be willing to go. Not as a Colt. I don't think the Colts should go that high. 6th or 7th round, I think, is where the Colts should because of what you just said. There's a reason why I didn't want Julio Jones. He's an older guy who's going to cost a lot of money. He's going to take away from young guys. Now, this is a younger guy, right? One of the upsides. Younger guy might be able to figure out how to get him to work, because he still is young, only going into his 3rd season. He's not going to be too pricey. Like I said earlier, 1.3, 1.8, somewhere around in that general vicinity per year. Big body guy, but we got that, right? We have Pascal. We have Pittman. We got the big body 50-50 guys. Now, is there a situation where, if he shows up and he ends up playing well, you might be able to flip him and get something better, make him look better than what he did in New England. You might be able to get more in return for him, or you might end up getting, long shot out there, but he might end up living up to that late 1st-round draft pick, because he's in a different system with different coaching and different players around him. You never know. But I don't know if he's worth that to the Colts more so than what some of the other guys we have, like a DeMichael Harris, like Mike Strachan, like, some of the other young guys that we have on the team.
Doolin.
Doesn't
do any special teams or anything either, does he? Isn't he just basically
I don't think so. I don't think he does. Ant Rogers. What's going on, Ant Rogers? Says he thinks that the Bears isn't a bad option for him. Maybe. Especially since I'm pretty sure they re-signed Allen, right? Robinson, this offseason. They could use another wide receiver out there, big guy, opposite him. Big receivers don't work out in New England, besides Randy Moss and Brandon LaFell, McChicken says. Well, you would know because you've been the New England fan. I haven't followed them that long, but I do remember both those guys. Cyborg, what's going on? Says, we don't need NKeal Harry. Our receivers just need to step up and be healthy. Campbell, Pittman, T.Y. make a solid core. Campbell and Pittman just have to keep improving and be on the field. That is right. That is straight up right. Stay healthy, be available. I think this Colts receiving core is way better than what your national media tends to call it. It's just they haven't been healthy. They haven't been healthy for years. If they can have one season where the players are at least somewhat healthy at the receiving core, that'd be amazing. Harry really struggles, huh?
Another thing is for me with this, everybody's sitting there talking about, let's bring NKeal in here. Okay. He's not going to outperform or replace T.Y. Hilton, and he's not going to outperform or replace Pittman. So now you're talking. now you're comparing him to Campbell or,
Zach Pascal.
Pascal. Okay. I don't see him, well, Campbell, if he gets hurt, I can see him sliding into the. But is NKeal going to sit there and accept? I mean, from what we've seen, just, with everything, is he going to come to a team and accept being a number 4 or a number 5 on a roster? Does he strike you that type of person that's
He wants a trade because he's not getting targets.
Right.
He's sure as hell not going to get targets on the Colts roster if he's the 4th or 5th target, right? So I get exactly what you're saying. No, that's why he wouldn't fit. Yeah. I agree wholeheartedly with what you're saying. Now, that's the issue right there. If it wasn't that he wants to be a starter and get targets and work out that way, maybe. But no, I don't think he'd beat out Pascal, because Pascal not only does the same thing he does in the receiving situation, but Pascal also blocks. And that's what this team does, I mean, that one of his strong suits is he can run block. I'm not out there seeing NKeal Harry running out there and knocking over defensive ends and linebackers. I saw Zach Pascal pancake a pass rusher. Okay? I've seen it. We all Colts fans have seen it. Now, granted, it was a blindside block. I'm not going to defend that. The guy wasn't ready, but still, for a wide receiver to pancake a guy who's 250 plus pounds, blindside or not, pretty impressive. So that's how I see how I see on this. Cyborg says passing on DK Metcalf for Campbell might be something Ballard's regretting. Depends. Think about it. I mean, what if Campbell's able to stay healthy, my guy? If Campbell stays healthy, I see him leading the Colts in receiving yards this year. I really do. He's scary, dangerous, good. But he's got to be on the field. And honestly, I was not a big DK Metcalf fan. His issue in the 3-cone and on film where he didn't make cuts very well scared me away from DK Metcalf. And that's the reason why he lasted as long as he did in the draft. Because other teams saw the exact same thing. McChicken throws up hypothetical. If you're Ballard, would you accept NKeal Harry plus a 2024th for Zach Pascal and a 2023 7th? Yes. I would. Only because the differential with that 4th round pick. Because in 2022, the Colts are not going to have a 1st round pick. So a little extra higher end 4th round, I think, would be worthy of it. I think that's the reason. You'd get a heck of a receiver in Pascal. But thing is, Pascal, he had a 2nd round tender on him this year, right? And he was paid for that 2nd round tender. And I don't know if he'll be on the team in 2023. I don't know if the Colts will be able to afford him. So that's an issue. I mean, would the Colts be able to keep Zach Pascal long term? So in this situation of this contract, it would hurt the Colts, I believe, this year. But next year, you would get a higher end draft pick and a project in NKeal Harry. It'd be a project though. But that still, I don't think, would put Harry higher than 4th on our depth chart. Because I would still have Campbell above him, without any question in my mind. And then obviously Ty and Michael Pittman Jr. So, what are your thoughts on that proposed trade?
See, now, I don't like these situations. I'm a super fan of Zach Pascal. So I'm sitting there as like, I understand what you're saying. Man, the fan of me is just like, I hate the thought of giving up a for sure thing. Giving up something. And it's like you said, it's not just, he's a run blocker. He's a locker room guy. He doesn't drop a lot of passes. He's been there, and helped the Colts through. I said a lot. You know what I mean? But he's been there and he's helped the Colts through just some of the really bleak times and just shined, like you said. I mean, Ballard's always talking about treating this locker room like it's a living organism. And I just see that if you give him up or give him away for what is possibly ending up to be nothing in 2 more years, other than a shot, you know what I mean? Like I said, me personally, I don't like that idea. But I do understand what you're saying as far as the draft capital and stuff, because like you said, the draft nowadays, I mean, which I know it's going to idle down, but right now it's like, quarterbacks and receivers. You can get a good quality quarterback and receiver in the top 2, sometimes top 3 rounds. And I mean quality, at that position. So, yeah, I mean, I understand what you're saying, but the Colts fan in me is like, no. But, yeah, I guess.
That's why you're here, man. I want to hear your opinion, whether you agree with me or not,
Yeah, no, like I said, and that's the thing. It's like I don't even know if I agree with myself. I mean, yeah, I understand. But, man, when you start giving up the intangibles, I just hate what that might do to the locker room.
Yeah, I get you. And, yes, that is a thing, the locker room issue, especially with NKeal Harry wanting more. And that's a problem. Before I continue and get into the chat and start taking comments and questions, like I see has already started, that is off topic, I want to say, please don't forget, smash that like button, hit subscribe if you're not subscribed, tag that notification bell so that you are notified next time I go live. Make sure all notifications are turned on, okay? All notifications. YouTube is funny like that. Don't forget, in the description of this video, right at the top, if you happen to want to do a super chat, want to make sure your stuff gets out there, please use that link for the super chat in the description. Don't forget, there's also a link to my Patreon. $5 a month, man. $5 a month. And you know what? I think I'm going to start doing live. Patreons starting training camp, no matter how many people's in there or not. I just lost 3 Patreons supporters over the past week because I wasn't putting. I assume it's because I wasn't putting out content because I just, bad situation for me that week. But it is what it is. And don't forget, I have my merch shop link in the description below. Make sure to check out the Colts Law merch shop. The link is in the description of this video. There are a ton of high quality, reasonably priced items there that you can choose from. And all you got to do is just click one button and you can go and check out all these great merchandise items. So, some comments that came in here just recently. Truett Trussler says, Colts, law, I do not want him. Get you. I understand. I don't particularly want him either. James Ross says, do not trade for Pascal. Do not trade Pascal for that scrub. And Hanif7G, appreciate you hitting that like button. Thank you so much. Nano says, who do you think Wentz's favorite target will be this year? I'm going to hand this off to Loyalist and let him give his first opinion on it.
Okay. I like the camaraderie that you see Pittman Jr. and Carson having in the offseason. I mean, it's like, that's another thing. To get back to the NKeal thing, everybody's talking about, we need to have this chemistry and you need this time to build up all this stuff. That's something else that you're not going to have if you trade for this guy, But anyhow, like you said, I like the thought, and I was of this thinking before the offseason and before they've had so many workout sessions and stuff. But I am a fan of what I think Pittman Jr. is going to bring this year as far as a steady game in, game out. Now, like I said, whether he has the most yards, most touchdowns, most attempts, I don't know. But I would definitely say that he's going to be in the running for all 3 of those categories. I think him and Paris Campbell are going to be sort of I think this year has a chance to be the changing of the guard. In the way of, okay, T.Y. Hilton's still going to do T.Y. Hilton things. T.Y. Hilton's still going to go deep and get it. But I can see that on the moving the chains, progressing the ball down the field, I really like the idea of what Pittman and Paris Campbell both offer, but I'm more on the camp of the Pittman Jr.
So here's the thing. I think he's going to start off looking at Michael Pittman early. Reasoning, national media blowing up early in the offseason about Pittman saying, no, I don't want to give up number 11, right? And now they're all saying, oh, there's going to be that divide, right? And I think he's going to try to answer that early and often this season and show, that has nothing to do with anything. But I think it evens out. I don't think there's going to be necessarily a favorite target for Wentz this year because of the way Reich plays calls and develops his quarterbacks. You've seen it with Rivers last year. He really spread the ball around. There was never really a number one target guy, right? You don't really see that. I think, yes, we'll have a number one receiver. Somebody's going to end up with the most receptions. I get that. I understand it. I think that Paris Campbell will probably have the most yards if he stays healthy because of the simple fact that he is a yak monster, right? Yards after the catch, monster. I think Pittman will probably lead the team in touchdown receptions because that is his skill set. I mean, and he's good at that. But you got to look at when it comes to number of targets, you don't know. It could be T.Y. because he's able to get open. He's that veteran savvy guy that knows how to get open and get those little short, quick hits. Yes, I understand that T.Y. is known for the deep routes, but we have seen it time and time again where T.Y. will break off a route early, cut inside, catch that little quick 11-yard catch, fall straight down. All right, I'm moving the chains. That's all that matters, right? We see that all the time. Don't forget, we got tight ends now. Our running backs, our system is really good at getting the football in the running back's hands with open space, right? That is why I don't think there's going to be necessarily a favorite target by the end of the season. I think the ball is going to be spread around a lot, and this time next year we're going to still have fans and the NFL saying, well, the Colts don't have a number one wide receiver. You had 5 guys with 70 catches, but you don't have a number one receiver. Sometimes you have so many good guys that you want to get it to them equally in their specific situations. And it just evens things out. Whereas they might end up being a number one on another team because they're just that much better than other guys on that team. So that's how I see it. Eric, Super Patriot. Hey, what's going on? Appreciate you being here. Thanks so much. Don't forget to smash that like button. That's my explanation of how I feel that favorite target thing will be. I think it will be Michael Pittman early, the first few games of the season, and then I think it starts to, kind of spread out just because that's how Frank Reich runs the offense. Does that make sense, loyalists?
Yeah. I mean, it's sort of funny, everybody, me and a lot of people I know, we all love football because it's a team sport. But yet we always keep trying to find that divide and that way to separate them, whether it's, I just don't understand it. And like you said, I think Reich and Ballard both are of the mindset that give me 5 number 2 receivers and you can go and find your number one. I do like I said numerous times, I like the mystery of it all. I like not knowing, okay, what player is going to go off? What player is going to have 2 touchdowns and 110 plus yards receiving? Is it going to be a running back? Is it going to be a tight end? I just, like I said, the unknown. And I don't mean as far as unknown as far as can they perform, but the unknown as far as which player is going to hurt you, which player do you have to get in front of and slow down. I think that is a weapon all on its own.
Well, it's like last year, all right? And Troger brings this up. He says, our wide receivers looked average last season because of the quarterback. No D was afraid of the deep ball. This year will be different. It's not just that. Okay, now think about this. Early in the season last year, Mo Alley Cox was playing incredibly well. He was raising eyebrows, right, across the league. Mo Alley Cox is actually a decently known tight end across the NFL now because of the first 5 games of the season last year where he was getting targets. Then Anthony Costanzo got hurt, right? And Mo Alley Cox had to be brought in to help block more often in the passing game. And then all of a sudden, things started looking a little different. The Colts started leaning more heavily into the run game rather than the pass, and that makes a difference. That makes a difference when your left tackle's out and you got crap left tackles, and your quarterback is not a mobile quarterback. You got to keep your good tight ends who can't catch the football. If they can block, you need to keep them in the block, because you need the extra help. And he makes a point. This year we have Carson Wentz. Now, do we need to protect Carson Wentz? Oh, well, yeah. It doesn't matter if it's Patrick Mahomes back there. You still got to protect the guy. But you ain't got to focus on your weapons staying inside nearly as much when you have a guy who is mobile. So they can go out for passes, and Mo Alley Cox could have a full season if the left tackle position is decent this year. Just decent. It don't even have to be great or good, just decent, because the rest of the line is as good as it is. But great comment, Chris. Appreciate that. Eric Super Patriot said that Tom Brady has never had patience with rookie wide receivers. And it's funny. He's never had patience with rookie wide receivers, but he'll take a veteran off the team who don't know the playbook and throw to them all day. You know what I'm saying? That's funny, because he was known for that. He'll take a veteran guy who comes in 3 days prior and throw the football to him all day long, but the rookie he won't throw to. Don't make sense. It should be based on whether or not the guy gets open, not whether or not how much experience they have in the league. At least that's my thought. I'd love to see our offense be a well-balanced, methodical nickel and dime you down the field just to wear down defenses and eat the clock. Cyborg says that's exactly what they were the last 2 seasons. That is exactly. Move the sticks, eat the clock, wear a defense down. That way in the fourth quarter, the defense is too tired to stop anything that you darn well think that you want to do. And that's why the Colts played second half of games better than the first half the majority of the time. Exceptions, 2 exceptions being the Ravens due to injuries and the Steelers due to injuries. The rest of the games, they played better in the second half. I'm a Colts ally because your respect and support of the Pats, Hanif7G says. I respect the majority of the NFL. Now, on an individual basis, I give respect where it's earned. You know what I mean? When it comes to individual players, coaches, things like that. Organizations, generally, I give respect depending. Okay? When you look at what's going on with Snyder over there in Washington, right? You can't really give a whole ton of respect. It looked like he tried to do the right thing with hiring his new operations manager and his GM and his coach and Rivera and all them. But then the new stuff comes out, and and the NFL's like, well, we're going to fine you $10 million, and almost everybody, every fan is like, that's not even a slap on the wrist. $10 million to a professional sporting team is nothing. And I can't disagree with that. But I don't want to get too much into that. That's a completely different stream. Even if I want to get into that, I generally don't get into politics, and that is political. But I try to give respect where respect is due. I am not a fan of the New England Patriots. I'm going to make that clear. I respect them. because what they have done, and they have earned that respect in that aspect. They've won 6 Super Bowls in the last 2 decades, right? I mean, I know a lot of you are going to say, but there's asterisks. They won them. It's in their books. They've got the trophies in their case. They got the rings on their hands. And you have to respect that. You know, Tom Brady's broken almost every NFL record to date. And he's, got 7 Super Bowl rings. That tells you have to respect what the man has done. As much as I love Peyton Manning, he's got 2 Super Bowl rings, only one with the Colts. Ross, what is going on, my guy? Appreciate you so much. We got a super chat. It'll be popping up on the other side of Loyalist any moment now. And he says, just popping in, buddy. Please take NKeal. We're willing to take a pack of gum or a ham sandwich. Your move, Colts Nation. All right, I understand. All right. But I like my ham sandwich. Does it have cheese on it? I'm not giving you a ham and cheese sandwich for him. If there's no cheese on it, I'll think about it, okay? But I ain't giving up no hot ham and cheese sandwich. I'm telling you. No. Thanks so much for the super chat. Very, very appreciated. Yeah. I get it. I mean, Patriots fans don't like the man. In general, he is it's funny because you hear about how they don't like Cam Newton. A lot of people, Patriots, because of how bad he performance-wise he did last year.
Yeah.
They dislike Harry way more, I believe, from the general consensus that I'm getting. But I understand. But it might be a trade at this point. I don't think the Colts will do it. Now, like Loyalist said and some other guys, there are teams out there that might. I just think the Colts have a lot of young, high-ceiling guys already on their team at the wide receiver position. We're going to be letting go of some receivers, I think, that would definitely, be a top 4 guy on another team. Not necessarily a top 1 or 2, but, would get some playing time on other teams. Whereas, we might not have a whole bunch of really high, level known guys, but I think we got a whole bunch of, good to middling guys, and that's the issue. We don't have that really low anymore at the wide receiver position, and that's why
I would much rather take one of these younger guys that don't have the history and start that project building from ground zero versus this. I mean, you've almost got to rebuild his image and and stuff. Not to mention is the personality. I mean, I just don't see it. Like I said, I don't see the fit in so many ways.
Colts Nation comes in with a little bit of a different opinion than some of the other guys here in the chat. It says, hey, what's up, Lawrence? I think we should pick him up for a 5th or 6th because I think he could have a breakout season, and it's possible. Different team, different look, stuff like that. I don't like the idea of a 5th. I will maybe a 6th, but you got to remember, what year of a 6th? Next year's? Because we're already short a first-round pick next year. And I'm not even going to say 1st or 2nd. I'm going to say Wentz succeeds enough to make it a first-round pick. Okay? So that's the issue I have. You're going to be taking out more for a question mark. And I don't know. Ladies and gentlemen, please don't forget, smash that like button, hit subscribe if you're not subscribed, tag that notification bell so that you are notified next time I go live. And don't forget, like I said, check out the Patreon. Please use the super chat that's down here. I'd appreciate it very much. Right underneath the video right here. Harry cannot block, receive, finish routes, lacks visible has a visible lack of effort on film. It's painful to watch on game day. This is what Ross is saying. And I respect Ross's opinion. Not just because he gives me money. but because the guy's a true fan, you know, and he gives his honest to goodness opinion. And he's a Patriot fan, so he knows what he's talking about. Now, McChicken, I respect his opinion, but he's not on here saying, Colts, please take him because he thinks he's good. He wants him off the team.
Now, I've heard some rumblings about, and people always want to compare it to the, Eric Ebron situation. You know, about how, you know, Eric Ebron was, you know, he fell flat in Detroit, and then first off, Eric Ebron had more signs of productivity than NKeal Harry has shown. Eric Ebron was also, you know, I mean, clearly not fitting in the organization. And like you said, you know, yeah, we brought him in and we had one good year and one meh year, and then, you know, nothing to prove. What's the point in giving draft capital if that's what you think your ceiling is with NKeal?
Well, the problem is, Ebron, when you look at Ebron on film and his stats, it shows he's got some exceptional qualities. What are the exceptional qualities that NKeal Harry is going to be giving you? Huh? Complaining? I guess that's a quality. And it takes a special person to do it when you're a rookie, or when you're on your rookie contract. But it is what it is. You don't complain about targets when you're a young guy. I get it, you're a first round pick, but that don't mean jack, right? You got to go out there and prove it. You were given more targets last year, and your catch percentage was only 58%. 58%. That is not a good look for somebody who's like, give me the ball more. Nobody's going to give you the ball more if you're catching the ball about half the time. I don't care who you are. Maybe Adam Gase will. All right.
Sorry.
Effort should not be something lacking when you're in the NFL. And that's true, man. That is true. That is absolutely true. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I've been on here pushing 50 minutes now. This is actually longer than I expected. I'm actually somewhat awake. But it's burning up over. It's about 90 degrees in my house. I turned my air conditioner off so you guys wouldn't hear the hum in the background. So I'm starting to feel it. But thanks so much for being here. I'm going to try to get a couple film rooms out. One for Deer Pass Nation. I'm going to probably do the Barmore, their draft pick, that defensive tackle that they had, and get that out to him by Friday, hopefully. And then we'll be looking at a film room for the Colts, hopefully this week as well. So keep an eye out on that. Don't forget, go to Twitter. Give myself and Loyalist a follow. I am at Colts_law. Loyalist is at
Colts Loyalist 56.
Colts Loyalist 56. And Ross, my boy, with a super sticker saying, keep it up. Appreciate you, my guy. Thank you so much. Colts Nation says, I think Harry is about as tall as Pittman and ran almost as fast in the 40. Well, here's the deal. But he doesn't, that's combine numbers. There's no one guarding you. You don't got pads on, you know. You're not out there, you know, doing things versus other people. I could play really good against air, you know. So it's not going to, it's not the way you know, combines 2 years ago. Let's see what he does against people, and so far it's not looking good. Again, Ross, I appreciate that so much. Thanks everybody for joining me. I understand that I haven't been on nearly as much. I did show up on Monday. I showed up today. It will be more often. I got my tickets for Colts camp. First day. I promise you. There will be some coverage for that as well. I will have some more content out this week. Whether I do another live stream or not, I don't know. If you show up at 9 o'clock to see my opinions and answer the questions from Connor and Ray on Deer Pats Nation, I'll see you there. If not, as usual, have a good one.
Just because a player's not a household name doesn't mean we can't make him a household name.